All right. First, I want to start off by saying Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh Shah, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh Shah, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh Shah. Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekah, Kodash, double honors constant a great millstone, who rule and teach well, peace and taste to all you out in four corners of the earth, all you out listening and learning. I'm Gay Quab, from why I saw Yahushai, sanctified ones, all you uh, nations that look like unto the heathen nations, and shalom to you. Right quick, I want to just say that I got a couple scripts, and I'm gonna let this video play. I just heard this video a little bit ago. I just went over it, once or twice, just to see what I can kind of grab out of it. Grab a lot out of it, but I want to talk about a couple little points, quick hits, and I'm gonna close out. But this guy, this off-grid desert farming guy, this Edomite, he be putting out good shit when it comes to the news, right? So he got this guy was talking about how things are going to end up in Europe and parts of America, different little stuff. But he's talking about the food prices and what the food prices are doing now. It's a part of it. He's talking about the war coming, the famine, all this different stuff that's happening. But I want to touch right quick on these food prices. That when you go back to the book of Second Kings, those same things happen with the prices of food. We're about to get back to those levels, right? It's creeping up. Even the gas prices is creeping up. Food prices is getting higher. So right here, right quick, and I hope this lesson is edifying and it reaches you Akim and Aqua that's listening and learning. All right, right here, right quick. This is Second Kings. Okay, yeah. All right, this is Second Kings, Slocky for that pause. This is Second Kings 6:24. I just want to start at the right spot. And it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. So this is when the Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, went and besieged the northern tribe, okay, up in Samaria, okay. And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head, which is a donkey, was so. And then I go to show you, man, we're not supposed to eat a donkey. We're not supposed to eat an ass. Okay, it's not meat that we should eat, right? But an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. That's 80 pieces of silver. 80. A score is 20. Okay, so for 80 pieces of silver, that was high. 80 pieces of silver at that time was big money. But that was just the head of a donkey. Okay, was sold for an astounding rate of money. Like now, when you go into the store, everything is doubling and tripling in price. Okay, you paying way more for the same product that you got in the 80s. It never changed. What changed? The burgers didn't get any bigger. The food didn't get any better. Or they stopped cooking with lard. They're still cooking with grease. Or whatever the situation, the size of portions didn't get bigger. It did, so what kind? The food didn't get more nutritious. If anything, it's even less nutritional value to it than it was back in the 80s, right? Beef burger ain't really all beef. It's cut with pork and everything else. Filler meat. You go to Taco Bell, you get what? Filler meat. The fuck is that? Filler meat. It's not even real meat. It's just some shit they fill in. So, yeah, but you paying much. You go to get one meal today at a store and it's costing you $10, $12 just for that one meal. You go to get go to Wendy's and get you a Dave's double and you paying $10, $10, $12. You go to Freddy's, you paying $12, $13. For a double burger in the meal. Okay, so you paying double to what you used to pay back in the day. I remember back in the day, you go get a Whopper for 99 cents. Shit, you gonna get a 99-cent Whopper. A 99-cent double Whopper. You used to go get a triple Whopper meal at Burger King, man, for $5.60. The whole fucking meal. and it was upsized. Okay, that's unheard of now. You know, you can't go and do that now. So things are getting worse. Nothing is getting better now. Once again, did anything change? Are they offering more, better meal? Is the meat better? Are they offering a better variety of meat? Is this grass-fed meat? Is it, is this beef? Is this beef? All beef? Is it grass-fed beef? Raised on a farm? You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes it, what makes it that it's worth so much more? It's the same product that you've been getting, the same size that you've been getting, but yet you're getting charged double and triple the price for something you used to get charged much less for. So, this is where we're going. This is where this world is headed into. Okay. Same thing with gas prices. Shit, back in the 90s, before 1992 or 2000, before 2002, everything was pretty cheap. Was compared to now. Gas, you could still find gas for $1, was $1.79, $1.69. Some places you can find gas for $1.23. Yeah, I remember, man, it was in the 90s, it was way cheap. 89 cents, 98 cents, $1.12. I mean, it used to be cheap, So here come 2002, everything really changed, right? Prices started creeping up. But now we're at a point now where it's just, like I say, one small meal and you paying double, almost triple the price of what you used to pay 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and beyond. So back to the scriptures, this said Kings 6:25, and there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. And the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung, right, which is shit, which is, the excrements that come out of a dove, for 5 pieces of silver. Like literally, the northern tribe had to go down to eat a donkey's head and dove's shit. Literally, the dung of a dove. Literally, they had to pay 5 pieces of silver just to eat it, just to have something in their body to keep them going while they were being besieged by the king of Syria. Okay. And that's what we're going to now. Okay. Women are going to be eating. Okay. Let me read 26. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman. So the king of Israel was looking at his people, right? Seeing what his people were eating and were going through. Well, he probably still was eating good. And as he was going through, he's looking and he's seeing a lady on the wall. There cried a woman unto him, saying, "Help, my Lord, O king." And he said, "If the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee?" So what good is a fucking king? What good is he? What power does he have? Because the Lord's not helping him. He's not, because if the Lord was helping him, his people won't be going through the famine. And that king understood that. That king understood that he had no power to stop that siege. The king understood that the only power there is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Why are you calling him Lord? Why are you? Because the real true king and Lord is who? Is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay? The one and only king is Yahweh and his son Yahushua. Okay, which the kingdom was passed down into his son. So the only true you can call for help is Yahushua. And in return, Yahushua hollers at Yahweh, and Yahweh makes the move. If that's the move he want to make. And he'll tell Yahushua, yeah, go ahead. You can do, or, send help, send relief, whatever it is. He take it back to the Lord, to the Heavenly Father Yahweh. And he's our mediator. And he mediates. And Yahweh be like, nah, we're going to let him suffer. And Yahweh says, hey, we're going to let him suffer. Word passes on down the line. So, so the king understood and knew that. And we know that in Israelite, because when you go through affliction, you go through adversity, you go through hell, it's out of your control, no matter what your title is. Doesn't fucking matter, because you can't control what you cannot control. You're not the power. Okay? And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, whence Salaki, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, out of the Salaki, out of the barren floor, or out of the wine press? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today. See, so we're gonna go. So the famine was so bad and so heavy that here this lady crying because she gave up her son to another woman so they can cook it and eat it. They ate her son, and the lady, and when you go into the store, I don't want to really go into the whole, well, I might as well. Okay, and we will eat my son tomorrow. Okay. So the lady basically, she supplanted her, right? Jake always supplanting their own people. You know they're Israelites because they always supplanting each other, right? Jake always trying to supplant somebody, being a huckster, a trickster, right? Trying to be slick. So he's like, look, shit. She was like, hey, look, we eat your son today, then we'll eat my son tomorrow. You know, let me just season my son up real good, let him sit and marinate and shit while we go ahead and throw your son on. Mine's and marinate, he'll be real good and tender. By the time, you know, we get done eating your son, then we'll throw my son in and boom, and we good, right? Nah, she's playing the shit out of him. Okay. So she said, and he prepared great provisions. Salakia. I'm sorry. It's like I clicked it and read at the wrong part. Back going down to what was that? 27. And he said, if the Lord, no, I already read that. 28. And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she have hid her son. See, you know, but that's what the day is going to come to. Okay. The day is going to come to when these men and women, they're going to be eating their children. Okay. Because they either going to eat a donkey's head, right? Or they're going to eat dove shit, or they're going to start taking their little babies, boiling them and eating them, cooking them, frying them, put them on a barbecue grill, saute them, whatever it takes. Because why? Because famine. Because when you're hungry, them hunger pains ain't no joke. I mean, when I came off that fucking sickness from that thing, you know, that man-made thing that they put out, you know, shit, I was down for like 14, 15 days, probably like 18 days. But when I came to, when I knew I felt better because I had a pain in my stomach that wasn't any other kind of pain. I'm like, oh shit, I ain't felt this pain since I was a little kid. I remember this pain, that hunger pain. Oh shit, I feel better. Eyes woke up, I got perky, I got the moving around because now my body, I can feel what's going on in my body. See, so now I was back better again because the pain in my stomach was so horrible. I was like, damn, I looked in the mirror, I lost a bunch of weight. Like, damn, my body was eating on itself all through the sickness. You know? So them hunger pains, when they come in, you'll do what you need to survive, to get them pains to go away. Right? So now 30, and it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Because it was over, man. He knew it. Okay? That's it. You know? Your people done relegated to eating their own fucking children. That's how bad it got. You know? So, you know, that's Salaki right quick. You know, that's just it, man. You know, that'll fuck your whole world up. You know, here you're supposed to be the chosen people. Here you're supposed to be the chosen people of Yahweh Shemi Shah. And here you got a woman crying and come to you complaining that she got tricked by boiling her son and eating him. Right? And she wants you to do something about it because the other lady outsmarted her and ate her son and hid hers. Right? That'll fuck you up. You know? That will fuck you up. You know, that'll throw you for one. You know, that's what your people has been bought so low too. You know, that kind of shit hurt. You know, and then she asking you and begging you to help her. What can you do? You being besieged too. You're not Yahweh Bashim Shah. You don't have the power to stop the king of Syria from besieging you. You know. Shit. Right quick. Let me give me a second. Because this is in a time of militia. This was in a time of militia. I know this was militia. I'm trying to remember which king it is that was in Israel at that time. Fuck. And it don't mention his name. Fuck. I used to know. But all right, but anyway, it's Lucky. You know, if any brother or sister know the king of Israel at that time, damn. All right, but I'll find it and I'll probably just put it up. All right, but Slocky for the pause anyway. But the point is, I find it while I'm looking at this video. But the point is that this is the times that we coming into. All right, because this was Elisha, you know, was the prophet in this time. All right, Elisha was, you know, was the prophet that was telling like, you know, shit about to go down. So, hey, the prophets always done what the prophets do, and we're doing it now today. You know, today as we speak, we still coming in our stead. We still doing the same exact thing we've been doing. You know. Okay. Right quick. Let me get Let me see. All right. So, hey, look. So basically, that's what we coming into. So I'm about to go into this video right quick because that's the time that we come. That's. Hey, man, this shit is upon us. Everything is getting is extraordinary, exceedingly high. Right? Groceries, rent, gas, all these bills, everything is just compiling, coming in, and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any cheaper. You know. So, hey, these are the things that we got coming to us. So, you know, that's just one of the things that's coming is the famine, right? And you can read that 2 Ezra 15, 16 chapter, you know, it's coming upon us. That's about to hit us. Matthew 24th chapter. It's hitting us. It's here, right? And Europe is just going to go through it quicker and faster than we are. So I'm gonna close down my side and I'm gonna play this video right quick, and I'm gonna let y'all listen to the video at the end of the video. Then I'm gonna pull out a couple scripts. I'm gonna close out.
To this about 3 or 4 months ago on our Odyssey channel and on our Rumble channel. I had to edit it just a little bit to edit some stuff out, but I want you to watch this video, folks. This video was probably made 4 or 5 months ago, telling you about what is about to happen in the earth in Europe and what we can expect. This is by Irish Repent, and this is a translation from Galeron. That's what they call it. He'll give you the information at the beginning of the video. So please watch this video, folks. Share it out. Some startling revelations of what is about to happen. And folks, these predictions were made about 3 to 4 months ago, and everything pretty much on this video is coming to pass right now in Europe. They talk about the energy shortages, all of the riots that are happening right now in Europe because of the Russian war, the sanctions that all these European countries have put on Russia. And he talks about some alien invasion next year sometime, some crazy stuff going on in the world. So please watch the video, share it out. We did post this about 3 or 4 months ago on our Odyssey channel. Many of you did not see that video because you did not go to Odyssey, but I'm going to repost it here now for you guys to listen to. So God bless you. We'll try to do an update on the Russian-Ukraine situation later tonight or tomorrow. But I wanted you to hear this because some of these prophecies or this intel that this guy has is coming true right now. So God bless you. And I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic and play this video for you now.
Galeron. This is in the form of an interview. This interview is dated the 13th of July, 2022. He starts off by saying that there is a law in physics, which is called the law of acceleration, which states that when an object is in motion and when it's accelerating, its movement is greatest towards the end. In other words, it goes at its fastest at the very end. This, he says, we can now apply it to what's happening geopolitically in our world. Things are accelerating at an alarming rate at the moment.
Salakia, the king of Israel at that time was the king of Israel was Jeroham. All right. So the king of Israel at that time was Jeroham, if I'm pronouncing it properly. All right. Yeah, Jeroham. I believe that's how you pronounce it. All right, just wanted to let you know. Because you go back to yeah, come. All right. Salaki, let me put the video back on.
50 or 60 years ago, you lived in a place and very little happened there. But at the moment, it's almost impossible to keep up with events that are happening so quickly. In the last few days, a number of people rang me to inform me that Benedict had died. I told them straight away that that's an impossibility because the prophecies have to be fulfilled. And the prophecy regarding Benedict is very, very clear. Benedict will not die in Rome. He will die outside Rome in another country. The time that we have left now is very, very short. And we need to really be preparing ourselves now. The situation in Europe now is very complicated. Putin has said that he is going to cut off the gas to Europe. This is really big news, and I hope people understand it. This is huge. This means that Europe is going to freeze with the cold this winter. Then we have the situation in the Ukraine. Well, we all know that that's just a smoke screen. We all know what's happening, and what is actually happening is that the big powers are preparing for an attack on Russia, but Russia will defend itself. What really worries me is the autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, because the information that I have at the moment, which comes from very high-ranking people, and this information tells us that at the very end of September, into October, everything starts to fall apart. First of all, we will be looking at the financial collapse. And then, of course, we have the food scarcity that will be setting in around the same time. I'm always talking about the problems that there are going to be with the food supply. And I have to keep harping on that. But I also want to state that there is so much food in the world that it could feed all of humanity a number of times over. But this is a created shortage. This is not real whatsoever. This is created by them. However, we see the prices of foodstuffs going up everywhere. In most countries now we witness this. So why is this actually happening? It's happening because the governments, the various governments, are telling the producers and the manufacturers of different types of foods that they scale back or cut production completely. They have done this in order to increase the prices and to create a greater crisis. The governments themselves have been told to do this by the global elite. The whole idea is to produce an artificial famine, and in that way to kill off the people. At the same time, of course, they will be killing off the people that have taken all the different types of jabs. And we could add to that a big long etc. All other ways of killing people. This is what they want. In other words, we now find ourselves in the middle of a panorama that is very, very complex. I was talking a few days ago to a military man of extremely high rank, and I told him that NATO and the US will be able to do absolutely nothing to Putin, but in actual fact, that Putin will tear them apart. He told me that the global elite are completely mistaken in believing that they can win against Putin. But he says that they fight to the death between themselves. These are the very people, he said, that are now destroying our world. But even among themselves, they are fighting to the death because they can't even agree on what policies to follow. We have Joe Biden, for instance, US president, making statements that Russia won't even last 5 minutes. We also have the head of NATO, Stoltenberg, who think they'll be finished with Russia in a few hours. There definitely is something wrong with all of these people. Do they not understand that Russia could finish all of them in 6 or 7 hours? Russia has the capacity at the moment to wipe them off the map in just a few hours, and they don't seem to realize that. So this is all part of the crisis that I'm talking about. An economic crisis, famine, the state of the church. Personally, I situate all of these different aspects in the critical months of October and November of this year. That is when I see them happening. And it is precisely in these 2 months of October and November that we come to the end of another cycle of blood moons. So what's the panorama, therefore? Obviously, we could sin a little bit as regards being pessimistic about the whole thing. However, some time ago, a friend of mine said that a pessimist is a person who is very well informed. The question here is not that we're trying to be pessimistic, but what we're trying to do is to be realistic, to see what's really happening, to understand what's happening on the ground. So the big question really for us is, what are we going to do when confronted with all of this? And it's here that we have to go into our inside. We have to strengthen our spiritual life. We have to strengthen and pay close attention to our prayer lives. We have to make a very generous offering, or surrender, if you like, of our hearts and our minds to Almighty God. A very practical way of doing all of this, of course, is to be good towards our neighbor, to be surrendered towards our neighbor, and to do the best we can to help them in these times. The situation that we find ourselves in today in this world makes it such that we now have to give a fundamental response to God. A yes to God or a yes to Satan. It's one or the other. It might help us here to remember, of course, the time that the apostles were in the boat and Christ was asleep in the stern. And St. Peter said to Christ, Lord, he says, do you not care that we drown? So obviously Christ is not going to allow us to drown. But of course, that will be an individual matter for each one of us and how we respond to God with generosity. He is then asked a question about quite a sizable number of people who have lost all their money in one of the Chinese banks. And he says, all of these things, he says, they're going to come to haunt us as well. If we remember back, he said, when COVID hit China, within a week, all the restrictions related to COVID were being imposed on all the different populations of the West, he says. So once again, it's going to happen the same way with the money thing and the banks. Very soon, we're going to see all these banks collapsing one by one. The symptoms are there already. And Argentina needs to take note, because there are going to be huge convulsions happening in Argentina. And what happens in Argentina very shortly is going to be in the rest of Europe. But anyway, let's enjoy these 3 months that we have got Let's make the most out of them before we have to face up to what's coming. In other words, let's enjoy these few months of peace that we have, these last 2 or 3 months of peace that we have before the hurricane faces us. In a lot of South American countries now, we have the global elite putting people into power who haven't won elections at all. All of these elections are completely fraudulent. The biggest example probably is Bolsonaro in Brazil. I have absolutely no doubt that if Bolsonaro presents himself for election in Brazil, he will win by a complete landslide. But that's not going to happen, because the crowd at the top will make sure that he doesn't get in. They will put in their own person. We have seen exactly the same thing happen in Colombia. It's not that the Colombian people voted for Petro, but that the global elite managed to swing things in his direction. If you look up the internet, you will find that there's an Italian priest by the name of Don Orione, O-R-I-O-N-E, who made a load of prophecies about Argentina. This man lived in Argentina for years, and it's incredible reading when you read this. Then you will see what's going to happen to Argentina. At this point, he's asked, why will all of these things happen in Argentina? And he says, I'd like to explain that by explaining something that's a very delicate topic to deal with. But it's the topic of witchcraft and the occult. He says it's impossible to understand the rise of Nazism in Germany just before the Second World War unless we understand the role of witchcraft in National Socialism. Because practically all of the German high command practiced witchcraft, including Hitler. I don't have any proof of this in the case of Rudolf Hess, who actually was sent to England to negotiate peace with Britain. So it's not just enough that we understand the role of politics and economics in the German situation, but we also have to understand the role of the occult and witchcraft. And practically all of the German high command, including Hitler, practiced witchcraft and Satanism. This is one of the aspects of the German situation that nobody ever studies. Nobody goes there. It's all politics or economics or similar subjects, but nobody touches on this spiritual aspect of the problem. We have the same problem with Venezuela in the time.
And right quick, that brings me to a couple of scriptures that I was thinking about. Psalm 64. Okay. And matter of fact, and let me get this one, because we're dealing with a lot of spiritual wickedness, right? And that's really what this all boils down to, right? At the end of the day, what's going on is wickedness is brewing in high places, right? So amongst all this shit, it's all the wicked that's ruling the earth. And you're going to find out, see where he's going to say it's the wicked that's ruling the earth. They're making these governments crash the markets. They're making them make groceries higher. They're making them collapse the system. And they can't do nothing, but they can't do nothing but then what they're told, right? They're made from on high, right? So the elite, right? They're trying to pull in the false Hamashiach. Okay, they're trying to pull in the false Lord, right? Which is Satan, which is a spiritual demon, Satan, right? They want to pull, which they're all are Satans, right? But they want to pull their head man in, right? So let me get this right quick. This is Ephesians 6 and 10. It's like, but let me get it. Let me get it pulled up. This is Ephesians 6 and 10. Probably start at 6 and 9. No, okay, yep. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord power Yahweh Shema Shah, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, even though it feels like it seems like it, you see it on the natural. Yeah, we contending with another man, drip blood, we continue with man, but really it's a spiritual battle. This thing is set off spiritually. The war is a spiritual demons, right? Because we are spiritual beings. We're not just carnal flesh. This only lasts but a moment, but we're all spiritual beings. So there's a fight going on in the spirit side of things. Okay. So for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. So when you fighting Satan and you're fighting his demons. On your side it's carnal, but on Satan's side it's spiritual. Right? So Yahushua and the angels, they knocking that asses out. Now, they doing what they doing. They handling their business. Things is being done. But on our side, we going through that physical altercation, but it's spiritual before it's ever physical. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. So you got, spiritual wickedness in high places. They thinking and conjuring up different demons, right? Different ways to destroy the people, to kill the earth. So everything is spiritual before it's anything else. Okay? Against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Shai, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And that's what this man is talking about. The evil day is here. The evil day is upon us. So we have to prepare. We're preparers. We're preppers, right? The men of the Lord are the ultimate preppers, the ultimate preparers, because you can buy all this and buy all that and buy all this and buy all that, and another man come in and kill you and take all your shit, and next thing you know, you're done. So the one way to prepare is through Yahweh Shem Shai. It's through what we do as men of the hopeful elect, the men that's hoping to be saved by the Lord. Okay, because why? We're preparing for what? For this evil day, with the heaviest side of the evil day. We're preparing now for it spiritually, because we know this battle was spiritual before it's a flesh battle. Even though a battle was going on in the flesh, but it's been going on in the spirit for a while. Okay, and having on the breastplate of righteousness and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. And as we pray for the Lord in that time to what? Bring us peace. While the world is in chaos and calamity and is all upon the earth, is all chaotic, we pray for the Lord to keep us in peace. Through what? Through the gospel, right? Through the good news that through all this hell and trial and turmoil, these trials and tribulations, that the elect men, okay, women and children are going to be saved out of it. Above all, taking the shield of faith, and that's faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So everything that come towards you, all the pestilence, all the plagues, right? All the attacks that Satan put forth upon you, that you can protect yourself from it. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Lord, power Yahweh Shem Shai. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all preservation and supplication for all saints. Okay. So, let me get back to the video.
Time of Chavez. It would be pointless to study the situation in Venezuela unless we take into account the amount of witchcraft and Satanism that was being practiced there. I myself, when I lived in Venezuela a good number of years ago, I lived there for a year, I was absolutely astounded at the amount of Satanism and witchcraft that was being practiced there by practically everybody. Therefore, of course, Venezuela had its problems with the oil and Chavez, etc., but it also, behind all of this, there was a severe problem with this spiritual aspect. The spiritual battle was going on. This is exactly what's happening now in Argentina. All of us, therefore, are facing a spiritual battle, a huge spiritual battle. Of course, we're living an economic crisis and a political crisis, and we have the problem with Francis. The things that are happening in the Vatican, the attempt to say that Benedict has died. And
Hey,
behind
right quick,
all these
I just
things,
thought about it. I was just sitting here, and he said it. What did he say? He said Venezuela. Hey, that's Ephraim, right? Well, it's not Ephraim, but Ephraim is the head tribe of the Venezuelans, right? Damn, I forget who they go back to. Is it Manasseh? Damn, I can't remember which, but they're the northern tribe. And that's why the Lord said this about the northern tribe. This is Hosea. Come on, baby. Salaki. Let me pull this Hosea up right quick. Let me get computer be tripping sometimes. Okay, okay. Salakia. Okay. Now, where's that at? Yeah. Isaiah. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm right. Okay. It's Hosea 4, right? Yeah, it should be. Is it 5 and 12? Hosea 5 and 12? Was it Hosea 7 and 15? Fuck, what is it? Hosea 7 and 15? Hosea. No, Hosea 4:15. Ah, there you go. Kolo Yahaba Shema Shah. Hosea. Now this is Hosea 4:17. I'm thinking Hosea 5 and 12, but Hosea 5 and 12 is good. Hosea 7 and 14 is good, but it's Hosea 4:17. Yeah. Hey, Salaki, man. So it's so many scriptures. So you gotta, forgive me. Because it's so many scriptures. So many scriptures. But this is Hosea chapter 4. I'm gonna start up. This is Hosea chapter 4. And I'm gonna start at 12. This is Hosea 4 and 12. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under thy power, Yahweh Shema Shai. So Israel went horn upon the other nations, man, other nation gods, man. Okay, they went away in different philosophies. Look at them now. And he just said, as a matter of fact, let me go back. Let me play this.
There, like practically everybody. We have the same problem with Venezuela in the time of.
And once again, Venezuela is the Israelites, right? So there's the Northern Kingdom. Damn, I can't remember who they either. Damn, they Manasseh. No. Manasseh's Cuba. Damn, who was the Venezuela? Oh, fuck. Which brother did they come out of? I can't remember right now at the very moment, but if you know who it is, put it up for me. But the point is, it's Israel. So go back to Ephraim, right? Ephraim is their head, is the northern tribe, the head of the northern tribe, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans, right? So they're the head of all the way down to Issachar, okay, from Venezuelans to Cuba, all the way on down, okay, to Gad, Reuben, okay, Naphtali. Are they Naphtali? But anyway, all the way down. So they're the head of them. So the Lord said, I'm gonna play this, then I'm gonna go back to the scriptures.
Chavez, it would be pointless to study the situation in Venezuela unless we take into account the amount of witchcraft and Satanism that was being practiced there.
That's right. And that's in the scriptures.
I myself, when I lived in Venezuela a good number of years ago, I lived there for a year. I was absolutely astounded at the amount of Satanism and witchcraft that was being practiced there by practically everybody. Therefore, of course, Venezuela had its problems with the oil and Chavez.
Okay, so he said, witchcraft was and Satanism was practically practiced by everybody in Venezuela. So all the Venezuelans was into witchcraft. They was into wickedness, practicing Satanism. Okay, that's why the Lord said, you read once again Hosea 5:12, probably read up. Hosea probably start up at like 8 or 9. Hosea 7:14, probably read up on down. Okay. So, but right here, so I'm gonna do this again. So this Hosea 4:12, my people ask counsel at their stock, right? And their staff declareth unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err, and they have gone a horn from under their power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They sacrifice upon the tops of mountains and burn incense upon hills, under oaks and pollars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when I commit whoredom, nor shall spouses when they commit adultery. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore, the people that doeth not understand shall fall. Right? Though thou Israel play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend. And come not ye unto Galilee, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear the Lord liveth. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Israel was just wicked. All kind of wickedness, all kind of idolatry. Okay? Satanism, all into Satanism. Now the Lord Paul Yahweh Bashim Yahushua will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. So Ephraim has went away upon the way of the world. Ephraim has joined unto Satan. Okay, when the Lord said Ephraim, he's talking about the northern kingdom. He's talking about Ephraim all the way down to Issachar. That's why they so fucking wicked. They so off. That's why they hate Judah so much. They don't understand. They don't see. They can't see. Okay, the majority of them are they're gone. Okay, they've fallen off into Satan's grasp, and they've done this way before the so-called white man. This is way before the so-called white man has flipped them out even more. Okay, Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Lord says, stay the fuck away from them, man. Telling Judah, stay the fuck away from the northern tribe. That's why the northern tribe and southern tribe, after the split, didn't have nothing to do with each other no more. Because Ephraim was straight fucking wicked, man. Jeroboam was wicked as fuck. And his seed line after that was wicked as fuck. Ahab was wicked as fuck. Jerome, his son, was wicked as fuck. Okay? So they was all into Satanists, man. They're all Satanists. That's why he said when you go to Venezuela, he said Venezuela was in nothing but Satanists, satanicness. Okay? They was into all that wicked shit, man. Sacrificing and doing all kind of idolatry, man. So this is what we get from the northern tribe. Our people has been turned out so heavy. Okay? Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredoms continually. Her rulers with shame do love give ye. The wind have bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. And when the Lord come back, their shame is going to fall upon them. And they're going to understand and know all that wickedness, all those years, all that shit they've done. Okay? But that's why the Lord says stay away from the northern kingdom, man. Let the northern kingdom alone. Now also read Jeremiah also read I went over that as Ezekiel the other day. It talks about northern tribes' wickedness. Going to Ezekiel, the second, third chapter, you just read the whole Ezekiel because Ezekiel gets heavy on the northern kingdom. Okay, but in Hosea, start at chapter 1. Start at chapter 1. Read through. It's going to talk about the wickedness of Israel of the northern kingdom, how wicked they were, man. Okay, you gonna find out how wicked the northern tribe is, and you see it now today when you go and see about the northern tribe, man. They're heavily into wickedness, idolatry, right? So anyway, so Hosea 7:14, and I believe it's Hosea 5:14, I believe too, is a little more good read about the wickedness of the northern kingdom. Okay, start about 7 and maybe about 10 or so on down through 18 or something like that. Hell, well, the Lord cast them away. Hosea the 6th chapter, 6:13 was chapter 6, I think, like 4 through 15, something like that. He talks about how the Lord cast them away. You know, they should be wonders among many nations. Okay. 5 and 12 goes about like damn, I can't remember. Fuck. I can't, but just read it. It's heavy. You know, it goes into about, you know, a lot about the northern tribe. But once again, go to Ezekiel. You know what I'm saying? Hosea 14:8. Hosea 14 and maybe probably start at 1. But I know when you get down to about 8, it's heavy about the northern tribe. About Hosea 5 and started about like 8 or 9. So yeah, so a few scriptures out there. I just threw out there. You know, if you heard, a few scriptures I threw out there that you can go into about Hosea, about the northern kingdom. Okay, so I'm gonna replay that again, what he said about Venezuela. And Venezuela really stands for Ephraim, Manasseh, Naphtali, Issachar, all the rest of them, man. Reuben, Gad, I can't think of all their names right now, but it's all the northern tribe, man. Simeon, all of them, you know. Hey, this is them.
Etc. Economics or similar subjects. But nobody touches on this spiritual aspect of the problem.
That's right, it's all spiritual.
We have the same problem with Venezuela in the time of Chavez. It would be pointless to study the situation in Venezuela unless we take into account the amount of witchcraft and Satanism that was being practiced there. I myself, when I lived in Venezuela a good number of years ago, I lived there for a year, I was absolutely astounded at the amount of Satanism and witchcraft that was being practiced there by practically everybody. Therefore, of course, Venezuela had its problems with the oil and Chavez, etc., etc. But it also, behind all of this, there was a severe problem with this spiritual aspect. This spiritual battle was going on. This is exactly what's happening now in Argentina. All of us, therefore, are facing a spiritual battle, a huge spiritual battle. Of course, we're living an economic crisis and a political crisis, and we have the problem with Francis. The things that are happening in the Vatican, the attempt to say that Benedictus died. And behind all these things, we have the fact that there exists an ongoing spiritual battle being fought. But this spiritual battle is being fought through the medium of politics and economics. For example, regarding the Spanish government, the majority of Spanish MPs practice the occult and Satanism. The majority. I am not going to quote names, but I can tell you that the majority of the Spanish government is overwhelmingly satanic. We know that in these places and in the IMF, etc., all of these places, they absolutely detest everything that has to do with Catholicism, and they're doing their utmost to destroy it. This is self-evident. We are seeing this now with abortion. We are seeing it with euthanasia. We are seeing it with all the persecutions that we are now coming under. All of this constitutes a spiritual war. And it's the last spiritual war that we're ever going to encounter. The interviewer then brings up a point. He's quoting some source, some religious source, of a person that said that very soon these extraterrestrials are going to arrive on Earth, particularly over the most populated cities in the world, and they're going to present us a super powerful tablet that will cure all the ills that we have been exposed to up to now. So his question for Galeron basically is, what do you think of this? Galeron answers by saying, yeah, he says, we're going to see this. We're going to see hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these spacecrafts arrive. This is part, he says, of the agenda of the global elite. But he also says that despite all of these, and there are thousands or millions indeed of spacecrafts that are going to appear, he says we must understand that 90% of them are going to be holograms. But he says they will have a tremendous sense of reality. They will look perfectly real. All of these things, he says, form part of what's called Project Bluebeam. So he says, so what's the purpose of all of these beings arriving to our Earth? He says they have come here really, he says, to support this other person who is what we will call the Antichrist. He says, I think I told you already, actually you'll find this in my last translation, about the meeting, the teleconferencing meeting that I was invited to, that was attended by 5 generals, 7 colonels, 2 public prosecutors, and a judge. And during that meeting, there was one of the people there who was tremendously well informed. As I said, these people were all top military people from a certain country. I cannot give names and I cannot tell you what the country is because that would be outside of my remit. But I can tell you that this person, who knew a great deal, told us that this individual would come in the middle of 2023, and that this man would control the entire world, all the nations of the world. He would control the politics, the economics, and all of the religions. So that gives us some kind of an idea of where we are now in history, with the appearance of this Antichrist. And all of these aliens, call them what you like, extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them, they're here to strengthen, to protect their leader, who is the Antichrist. These entities, these non-human entities, are going to present themselves exactly the way they are physically. In other words, they're not going to camouflage themselves as human beings. No, they're going to be exactly like they are, exactly the way they are. These entities are going to tell us, they're going to welcome us, tell us that they're here to help us. Then they're going to introduce us to their head man, who will be the Antichrist. And then they will tell us, this is our elder brother who is going to save humanity. We must realize at this stage that we're facing a spiritual battle, and this is going to be a battle to the death. Everybody who is alive today in this world has the great privilege of living now through the apocalypse, through the full apocalypse. That's the huge privilege that we're all enjoying at this moment. Some people have the notion that the apocalypse is all about nuclear explosions happening every 5 minutes. No, it's not going to be like that. These non-human entities are going to say to all of us that Christ is their elder brother. And now we need to be very, very careful, because everybody is going to conclude that the Antichrist is in actual fact Christ himself. They will be absolutely delighted and thrilled with this, and they will follow him. The greater part of humanity will accept him as the true Christ himself.
Hey, the only power that's coming out of heaven, okay? The only power that's coming out of heaven is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. The only power that's coming to the earth in chariots is going to be Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. There ain't going to be no fucking Anunnaki. There ain't going to be no fucking super beings. The only super being that's going to hit them skies is going to be the Lord himself. Okay? There's not going to be a superhuman being that's going to crack them skies, because Satan don't have that power. Right? Satan, the Lord is not going to give the spiritual demon Satan that power to crack the skies before Yahushua. Okay? Yahushua is coming back with the angels, and when he come back, he's not coming to give a helping hand. He's not coming to give love. He's not coming to give protection. Okay? He's coming to tear shit the fuck up. Okay?
Be very, very careful with this. You need to be on your guard, because we'll be facing the greatest deception that humanity has ever.
But there was going to be a political system, which is the one world government, and they're going to be trying to use Project Blue Beam for little slick shit. They're going to use cunning things to try to act like the Lord. That's why I said, Lord, Lord, many shall come in my name. You're gonna have to watch yourself, because it's gonna be tight, because people are gonna be looking for salvation everywhere. Okay, they're gonna be trying to find salvation everywhere. You're gonna have to take the chip, the C hit. You're gonna have to do certain things for when you know it's Satan, for Satan, right? You're gonna have to do a certain thing, right? And then if you're not the elect, hell, you in for it anyway. There ain't no way out for you if you ain't the 144,000, no way. Okay.
Being faced with. And very, very few people are going to realize that all of this is pure deception. The vast majority of people will accept this deception, sad to say. This is precisely why we need to be well informed, so that we'll be on our guard, waiting for these events to happen. But I have said it before, and I've said it lots of times in my videos.
Right quick, Revelation 13 chapter. Revelation 13. Let me just hit that right quick, because while he's speaking that, it's lucky. Let me get Revelation 13 up right quick. Because in Revelation 13, right here, this Revelation 13, I'm gonna start here, and it's about 16. I think it's the point. Yeah, this is Revelation. Revelation. Let me just hit this quick point right quick. Okay, this is Revelation 13, and I'm gonna start at about 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. Well, I'm starting at 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come. No, I'm sorry. Let me start up. This is Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast came up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, we know Rome was healed all over again, and and this is the rulership of Rome again. Okay, and he doeth great wonders. So so-called white man is going to do great things. Okay, because they do the exact same thing that the Rome, Greek, all their other kingdoms that had put forth on the earth. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. And that's what that man's talking about, right? He's talking about Project Blue Beam. They're going to be doing all kind of different shit, making themselves look like the Lord. Okay, he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of their miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth. Okay, so you got the elite, right? They're gonna be out here pushing out all this mystical, magical shit, making them look like that they're the Hamashiach. Okay, that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And a part of that image is going to be that mark. Okay. And this goes into 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, so you're gonna get that mark. That's going it's gonna be that I want to say it the right way. I want to say it wrong, because if I say the wrong thing, they're gonna take this video down. You're gonna get that you're gonna get that. You're not gonna be able to buy it without it. You're not gonna be able to buy, you're not gonna be able to sell. Okay, that's a part of his system. You're gonna become a part of his system. You're gonna be a computer. Let's put it like that. Let me see if I can put it in that term. You're gonna be a fucking computer. You're gonna be turned into a fucking machine. You're gonna be tracked everywhere you go, everything you do, which they're already tracking you now by your phones. You know, that's already something that they're already fucking doing anyway. That was a lot of that getting juiced up shit and catching that 1-9. You know what I mean? Getting that 1-9 was a lot of that, a part of that getting, so you can get that juiced up and they can start tracking your ass right through all these different measures, putting things inside of you. Okay, but the ultimate tracker is going to be that that thing, that number thing, you know, where it's going to, you know, go to the hospitals and, you know, it's best you're going to be turned into a fucking machine. And I'm trying to say this in words where I can't say it as plain as I would like to, but you're going to be turned into a fucking machine. Okay, man is going to become machine, right? You're going to become, you know, and you're going to be tracked and you're going to be able to be turned off and they're going to be able to turn it on and turn it off. They're going to be able to make whatever decisions that they want because he's going to make all, let me go back to 16, as he calleth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, and that mark is going to make everybody worship the beast, serve and praise the beast, because the beast is going to make them feel like, hey, look, oh yeah, we're the rulers of the world, and we got you, and we'll take care of you, and we got everything you need. You just lean on us, okay? And that's the elite, right? And their right hand or on their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell. Okay, so it saved that they had the mark. So if you don't become the machine that they want you to be, you're not going to buy, you're not going to sell, you're not going to be able to live on this in this earth for that moment. You're going to have to go through some hard, chaotic shit. Okay, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, and we know in those digital, in that thing is digital numbers, and it comes out to a certain number, right? Here is wisdom. Let him that understand count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay. So he's, you know, partially right, but the point is, it's going to be Esau, Edom, right? The elite putting forth all this wickedness upon this earth, man. Right?
These entities are here. They have been here for hundreds of thousands of years already. They were here on this earth even before mankind ever existed. But be very careful about what we're about to go into and what we're about to live through, because we're not talking about years here. We're talking about a few months.
Yeah, that's
remember that, a few months.
Because it's here.
I really hope that this penetrates us and that we understand it. On the other hand, this is absolutely fascinating. It's fascinating to think that you're alive during the whole apocalypse. You're living the most passionate time of history. You're right in the middle of it. Even Christ himself, somewhere in the gospel, makes a mention of this. He says, many, he says, would have loved to have been alive at this time.
You know, and don't forget, Rome came back during the Renaissance period. Rome was taken down, okay, by Jake during the Dark Ages. Okay, that's why you have what you got called the Dark Ages, and Rome has been rebuilt. The beast is back. Okay, so they're gonna come back with a vengeance, and they're gonna come back to make their predominance upon the earth, to rule the whole earth. And there's only one way for them to rule, one way that they believe that they can rule. Okay. Matter of fact, let me get this scripture. I want let me get this scripture right quick. Lock it. Yep, Job the 20th chapter. Right quick, let me get Job 20. It's about, I think 20 and 20. I think it start. Give me this. Yeah. Surely he shall not. This is Job 20, chapter 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods in the fullness of his sufficiency. So Esau is going to be trying to push this one world order. Okay. He shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Okay. So that he's not going to come to pass. It's not going to come to flourishing. Okay. It's not going to be able to come to flourish because while he's eating, while he's trying to work all this wickedness, hey, the Lord is during that time after that chip come in, the Lord is once he feel like everything is going to be on point, that's when the Lord is going to just, Yahushua and the angels is going to bust their ass, man. It's going, the Lord going to come back and he's going to be ripping through it. It's just going to be, everything will be getting ripped and tore through. We're going to be in World War III. Okay. Everything is just going to fall. Everything he's tried to do, all of it, man. Okay. Hold on, let me get this. Yep. Right here. This is Job the 5th chapter. This is Job the 5th chapter. It's Job 5 and about 12, 10, 12. Okay, this is Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, and that's that. And that mark, right? That mark is a device of the crafty. Okay, he disappointed the device of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay, so the Lord is going to stop them in the midst of them trying to complete their new world order, man. Their one new world order. That's not going to come to fruition because in the sufficiency of his belly, the Lord is going to make him spew all that shit back up, man. He's not going to hold it down. He's going to be grumbling in his belly. It's going to be too much shit going on. It's going to be chaotic, fuck. Right? So the Lord is not going to let it come to fruition. Right? They're not going to get it the way they want it. Okay? Because why? Because he disappointed the devices of the crafty. Okay? He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword. Who's the poor is Israel. Yashar, 144,000 from their mouth and from the head of the mighty. The mighty right now is Esau on the earth. Okay. All right, let me finish. I'm gonna finish off the rest of this video. Then I'm gonna do a couple scripts. I'm gonna close out.
It's absolutely amazing to think that we are protagonists that are living through the apocalypse. This has not happened for any other generation except ours, changing about them. He says, yeah, we're living through all of these things, he says, which is fascinating in one aspect, he says, but on another level, it is terribly worrying when you look at things like this. He's then asked the question about the demolition of the Georgia Guidestones. He said, people might like to think, he says, that it was some courageous people that took down these with some explosion. But he says, I prefer to think it wasn't. I believe, he says, it was the global elite who ordered that they be destroyed because they now see themselves
as... He said we are the protagonists. right? Let's go into that word protagonist. There's two words there. There's a protagonist and there's an antagonist. Okay, let me go get this right quick. The protagonists are generally the good guys. Okay, even it means that sometimes they are anti-heroes, while antagonists are generally the bad guys. Look at the protagonists and antagonists in Disney films or in classic children's fairy tales. But so he's going to that world. Protagonist and antagonist is that we're the good guys, and which is true. The good guys are actually the elite, is the elect, and the elite are the bad guys because they're the ones that's about to be taken down by Yahweh Shai. Okay, so the protagonist is Yahweh Shai because he's the superhero, he's the good guy coming in to save his people from the antagonist. Okay, just want to put that out there right quick.
Completely obtaining their objectives. They're totally confident at this stage. Remember that they had a message printed on those guide stones that the human population be reduced to 500 million, 500 million in other words. So they're terribly confident at this stage that they will achieve their goals. And they're sending us a message. Listen, guys, we have you now completely under our control. You're doing exactly what we want and the way we want it done. He's then asked about the last Pope, Peter the Roman. Basically, he says that this Pope will guide and will strengthen the very small flock that will be left during the persecution of the Antichrist. But he doesn't think that this Pope will actually be one of, like in the classical mode of going around dressed in white and saluting people, etc. In fact, he says it could well be an angel, or it could well be a lay person with a lot of charism, with a person with a lot of spiritual strength about them that will actually help the people in the end times. He says it's quite difficult to give an opinion on this, really, because in the prophecy of Saint Malachi, he doesn't actually have a number as such, which makes him suspect that it is indeed a non-classical pope, let's say. At this stage, Galeron returns to talking about the Antichrist. He says, if the Antichrist were to appear now, humanity would pay him no attention whatsoever. They just scoff and laugh at him. So that is the reason that he will appear after the World War, because then humanity will be on its knees, demoralized, utterly depressed, having nothing left. They'll be absolutely desperate for a solution. And that is why they will be presented with this person who will...
Hey, that's kind of like how they did Donald Trump. When Donald Trump first ran for office, what was it? Damn, when did he run for office? He ran for like around early 2000, around Obama came in. Then he ran for, and they laughed at him, man. They put John McCain and Sarah Palin up. They was laughing at Trump until they felt like they needed somebody that was as radical as Trump was to them, right? Trump is like a nationalist, right? He's not a globalist, right? He's about his nation, his people. He's about his Edomite people in their nation. He could care less about the globalist people. He care less about all the people around the world. It's nationalists first, right? And the globalists come in whenever later, right? So they have a fight, the nationalisms versus the global. Okay, there's that's that whole New World Order shit. See, Trump wasn't putting it down like the New World Order wanted it done. Because why? He's a nationalist. Because he knows in order to do to be a globalist, you have to destroy your own people. You have to bring down what y'all built or what you had these slaves to build. So Trump don't want to get rid of America because he loves it, because it's his beacon of hope for him. It's his, it's a pleasure for him. It's their pride. So why do you want to rip down your pride? That's being a nationalist. He's about his nation. Okay, but the globalists about the whole world. Trump don't care about the whole world. He care about his people, right? And that's what the Edomites on some Edomites understand and know and see. But that's what they did to him when he first tried to get in office. I think it was the time when the first time Obama was running with Sarah Palin, if I'm not mistaken, when John McCain and Sarah Palin was up against Obama. Okay, think Trump was running during that time. Everybody laughed at him, talked about his hair and talked about his skin tones. You know, he was a big ass joke. But then come down the line, he became the president. You know, after the Obama second term, who was your president? Was Donald Trump. See? Okay. So Esau woke up, you know, and when they felt they needed him, they felt down and busted and disgusted. Here, this so-called Negro was a so-called Negro because he's a Hamite, you know, has been in charge of them for fucking 8 years. And, you know, they was despising that shit. So, you know, they had to put somebody up there. So here come Trump. It's going to be the same way like that with the elite, right? They're going to be standing there and they're going to show all these great miracles and wonders. And the people going to accept it. Okay, what they call the Antichrist is Antichrist. It's many. Okay.
Will solve all their problems. It is right in the middle of this demoralization of humanity when the global elite will announce to the people, look, we have this man here. We present him to you. And this man will be able to solve all the problems that now beset humanity. He is going to solve all our problems, all the wars we've always been having. He is going to solve the problem of famine and everything else with it. And it's at this point that humanity will accept him because they will have no other choice.
You're going to have to take that mark. You're going to have to take that mark. It's all about that mark. That mark is going to be your exception. You're going to accept them through the mark. Okay, that's how you're gonna pledge your allegiance to the elite. Okay, you're gonna pledge your allegiance to them through the mark. Whether if it's one of them that's the head of them, but they're all the elite. They might have one that's a head, that's the head, one of the Rothschilds or one of the whoever. But their whole round table is the wicked, and they all gonna be sitting and pushing forth their crafty agenda. Okay, and it's all going to be predicated on taking the mark. Okay, they want you to become a machine, a zombie. Okay, and it starts with the mark.
And really, let's not forget that he's a person, a very intelligent person, a very prepared and seemingly educated person. He will speak to people in their own language, which is a great thing to have. And he will speak your language very well, by the way. And most languages, he will speak them. Is also going to be full of personality and very friendly, full of charisma, gifted. And it's logical, given that he's going to speak all these languages so well, that the people of the earth will identify with him very easily. The interviewer then poses the question that as this Antichrist is to appear in June of next year, that means the war must start around October, November of this year, of 22. Galeron says, yes, he says it will start around that time. So it'll be from October, November until February, approximately. Or if you like, it will last during the European winter. In actual fact, and somewhere in my documents, I have read, because I distinctly remember it, I read where there would be a terrible European winter. Most likely it refers to this particular time period. Don't forget that the Russians have now turned off the gas and the oil. Galeron says as well that it's during this time that the European populations will start turning.
Hey, and don't forget, Biden talked about that dark winter. The dark winter is here. This is going to be the winter for that dark winter is here. It's this winter. That's going to be Europe's start, and it starts in Europe with the dark winter. Okay.
On their governments, and their governments will start to blame Putin.
And you got to remember, cold. These governments, they're doing this because they're being guided and being pushed, and they're owned by the elite. Okay, by the elite families. So that's why they're all into Satanism. They're in control of the elite, big business, big oil, okay, big banks. They're being controlled. Okay, your government is not your government. It's the government of the elites. Okay. And they tell your government when to do, what to do, how to do. That's why they're having these wars. Okay.
Given that they have no oil and they have no gas and the prices of everything has gone up, so they'll be all blaming Putin. But the people will realize at this time it's not Putin is the problem, it's they are the problem. The people will then begin to realize that it's the governments who have taken orders from the top and they have stopped the food supply getting through to the people. That it is also these very people who are pressurizing Russia. That is the reason that Putin shut down the oil and the gas supplies to the nations in Europe. So things will be, the picture will start to make sense to the people at that stage. It's at this stage that the European people will go for the people that govern them, for their own governments, and they'll kill them. Because they know that they're the ones who are behind it all, not Putin. Pay great attention to Francis's journey to Russia, because he's going to travel there. And when he comes back, the rebellions will break out everywhere throughout Europe. Francis will be going to Russia. I don't think somehow he'll be going during the summer months. It could happen, for instance, maybe from September, October, sometime around then, because that's usually when politics resumes and the offices open up after the summer period. So it could be sometime around then. But when he comes back, is when all the nations of Europe are going to go into open revolt. And we know this from the prophecies of Garabandal. It is around this time also that World War III will start with the assassination of somebody very important. And it will give cause to the real commencement of World War III. Personally, I locate all of these happenings in the month of October and November, because in those months we have got 2 blood moons and a black moon. So definitely the red line for me are the months of October, November of this year. That is my red line. You will remember that before in one of my videos,
and all nations are going to be called up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. You can read that in Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay, read Joel, the 3rd chapter, and the Lord's going to be pulling them up into the fight. Okay. Matter of fact, let me grab this scripture right quick while I'm thinking about it. Ezekiel. I think it's one in Ezekiel 38:4 and Ezekiel 29:4. I'm gonna go Ezekiel 38:4. Okay, and this is Ezekiel 38 and 1. I'm gonna start at 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Power Yahweh Shem Shah, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses, horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armory, even a great company with bucklers and shield, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomar and all his band, the house of Togomar, the north quarters, and all their bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So the Lord is pulling them all into the battle, into the fight, into the war. Okay? After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of my people, out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely all of it. Okay, well, that's bringing us back. But okay, so they're gonna be brought up when you go into Joel the 3rd chapter. The Lord is gonna bring all these nations, God, Meshach, Tubal, Ethiopia, Libya. They all gonna be brought up in all their bands. They all gonna be brought up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, and why I said I'm gonna just go ahead and probably get that one too. Right? Let me see. Let me get that in Joel right quick. This is Joel, 3rd chapter. You read really Joel, start at 1 because Joel 3rd chapter is heavy. Just read that all down through. Okay, but this is Joel. I'll just start at 1. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. And right now we're in captivity. Okay, the northern and southern kingdom. This was chiefly to start with the southern kingdom, and the northern kingdom, okay, is in captivity here in America and all over the earth. I will also gather all nations. That go back to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, which I just read. Okay. And I will gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay. So that let you know they all gonna be called to that fight, to that big battle. Okay. That battle that's going to be here on earth, but it's going to be up in the land. Ezekiel 38 and 4. Okay, he's going to put hooks into their jaws, and they all going to be turned back into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay. Okay. All right, let me go back to this video. It's almost done. It's about 3 minutes left.
Predicted March 2020 as the start of the troubles based on blood moons. And that's exactly when COVID started. So from October and November onwards, the fun will start because we'll have one event after the other. One event will hardly have finished and we'll already be starting another one. And that's the
way. Hey, that's nothing new. Not for Jake. Not for Israel. Hey, because it's always be some shit. Once hey man, you go get through one thing, that's here comes some more shit. Get through that shit, here comes some more shit. Get through like fuck. You be in the middle of one thing, and here come another thing pop on you. You got some more shit that came up. So hey, we used to it. We ready for it. That's why you gotta be ready for it. The Lord really put us in what you would call a straight in a bad situation. But fuck, that bad situation will teach us how to get through a lot of shit. Because we used to shit not always going, our shit's always going wrong. There's always some shit. So, hey, Jacob's trouble, right? Jacob's trouble, Job 30 chapter, that shit just what it's going to be. Jake always been in trouble. We've always had trouble, but it's just going to get heavier, super heavy. But hell, well, we always used to shit. Hell, we used to going through some fucking hell, man. Shit. No, I'm used to it. Always some shit. Every time you look up, it's some bullshit. All right.
It's going to continue from then on. He is then asked about the situation in Sri Lanka, where the people went into open revolt.
Sri Lanka. I meant to do a video on Sri Lanka, and I forgot to do it. But the dude went into the motherfucking bank and pulled his gun out. Y'all watched that movie called John Q with Denzel Washington when his son had cancer or some shit? And they couldn't get the treatment because they couldn't pay for it because some stupid ass rules that Esau got, some dumbass decrees, some unrighteous decrees that Esau be doing. And so he went in there and he held the motherfuckers at gunpoint for his son to get the surgery. Well, this dude did the same thing about paying the bills for his mother, medical bills or some shit. Was in a nursing home. He couldn't get his money out. And if you did take money out of Sri Lanka, your shit dropped. You took out $5,000. that 5,000 was worth no more than like $400, $300, some shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Your money dropped, it depreciated immediately as soon as you took it out, right? Because the country had collapsed, right? And you really don't hear about it, you know, in the news. They don't talk about Sri Lanka. But there was a lot of shit going over there, you know, and the people's, you know, offing each other. That's Elam, matter of fact, the Elamites. They was over there offing each other and shit. All kind of shit was going on. I meant to do a video about them, man. I forgot all about it. I don't know how that slipped my mind, but it did. You know, I guess the Lord didn't want me to bring it out. But the dude went in to the bank and held that bitch up for his money because they refused to give him his money. He couldn't get a fucking dollar out of the bank. And when they were saying, even when you did pull out a dollar, that dollar wasn't worth shit no more. You bring a dollar out, hell, you might as well not have brought nothing out because as soon as you take it out the bank, it was worthless. Money was worthless. You know, like Venezuela went through, right?
Burned down the house of the prime minister. He says what's happening there is going to happen in Europe,
burned around the prime
in the different states in Europe,
that's right,
and in the US also, because the
collapsed.
people now are absolutely sick and fed up of everything that's going on, and they will take action. All of these governments, both in Europe and in America, are going to be toppled. They're going to be toppled by the people. And why is this going to happen? Because this is part of the global elite's plan for the people to topple the governments. Because it's at that point that they will take over. Given the absence of all governments, they'll take over and they'll present their candidate, in other words, the Antichrist, to the people. We can already see the start of this happening, of these governments being toppled. Boris Johnson is gone now. Macron is very shaky. Draghi in Italy is also shaky. And we could go on like this, but all of these governments will be toppled, and they'll all be toppled by the people eventually, creating a vacuum, and into that vacuum will come these global elite with their candidate and their world government, for which the people will vote and agree to. He is then asked the question, what can we do to protect ourselves in nuclear war? He says there's a German man, Il Meyer, who actually wrote about that. He was a visionary and he wrote about it. He had tremendous vision of the Russian attack. He says all the countries, former Yugoslavia, Germany, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, all of those countries will be absolutely devastated, completely devastated. Right up to France, loads of people dead. Most of England will disappear. This attack is also described in the Bible in chapters 38 and 39 of the prophet Ezekiel. The majority of the Spanish population will also be wiped out. About 30% of the Spanish population will be alive when this is over. When all of this is over and all this destruction has been wrought on Europe, you're going to see huge immigration from Europe to America. Just as now you have many immigrants coming from African places into Europe. Well, when this nuclear war is over, the flow is going to be in the opposite direction. All the Europeans are going to start moving towards Central America and South America. He just goes back now to clarify a fact that one of the viewers actually brought up, and it's about these non-human entities, or these extraterrestrials, if you like. Call them what you like. He says there are thousands and thousands of these races in the whole universe. But all of them, he says, they're all under the control of Satan. He says some of them are not too bad, but the worst of them, he says, would be the Anunnakis. He has asked two more questions, but they're not of great significance, so I won't bother with those. And they're more relevant to Colombia.
All right. So, hey, look. So that, you know, that was
it on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy.
All right, that was it on that. You know, I just wanted to, you know, bring that out, let you listen to here. You know, put a little bit of commentary on it. You know, let me get, you know, that was Satan. Hold on, Salakia. Let me get rid of this. Right quick, Salakia.
I had to edit it just.
There you go. That's where I want it to be. All right. So So yeah, so that was just a little bit. I just wanted, I think I've been going about hell, I almost been doing about as long as we do in camp, about an hour 40 minutes. But hey, I don't want to take this that much longer because I pretty much said some things I need to say. But let me just right quick go to these quick scriptures, and I'm gonna close out. This is Psalm 64:1 to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power Yahweh Shema Shai, my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who weigh their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly, and the perfect is Israel, Yasha'Allah, the 144,000. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They consume of lying snares privately. They say, who shall see me? Who shall see them? They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and their heart is deep. But Yahweh Bashim al-Shai shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue, go back to Job and 5, their own enterprise. So it shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, for they shall wisely consider of his doings. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord power Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Okay, and all upright in heart is Yahshua, that once again goes back cheap to the 144,000. Now let me get my last precept, and I'm gonna close out. Okay, this is I'll just close it out. Where did I want to go? I just closed it out. Damn. Who's my precept? I had it up here because when I started, I knew where I wanted to go. Oh man, Salakia. I had that last precept up. It was where did I want to go? Salakia, right quick. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna try to find a couple more. See if I can't find this last precept I wanted. My last precept. Damn. Oh, I remember what it was. Wait. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what I wanted. Hey, Kolo Yahbashim al-Shai. Hey, this is Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Hey, I'm Yaquan from YSO, Yahushua Sanctified Ones. I hope this lesson wasn't too long. Evidently it was. It was like a 3-video lesson. Really, I did a 3-video lesson in an hour and 40 minutes. So, hey, Salakia for the for all you brothers and sisters that got, that's got attention deficit disorder. But hey, look, Salakia, hope it was edifying. Okay. Hey, let's get ready. Shit is hot, shit is heating, it's popping, it's banging. Hey, keep praying up, stay praying, stay vigilant, stay on your watch, keep pushing these words, keep teaching. And I'm Yaquan from YSO, Yahushua Sanctified Ones. I want to say Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahushua, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahushua, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahushua, call Lord Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Wakah, Kodash, double honors, pastor, elders, great millstone, ruler, teach well. Peace and salutations to all you Akim, Aqua, 4 corners of the earth, listening, learning, to all you speckle-faced brothers, to all you Israelite nations that look like the other nations. Shalom and Abad Babal to America. Shalom to Babylon. Abad Babal to Babylon, and Shalom to the Akim and Aqua. Shalom.